Clint Eastwood is more than a Hollywood legend. He's a living testament to American resilience. With his iconic gaze and career that spans over 7 decades, Clint transformed silence into strength, becoming a symbol of unwavering pride. His journey, from a boy born during the Great Depression to a global icon with 4 Academy Awards, is marked by success and sacrifice. His fortune, exceeding $350 million, includes vast estates across California, Idaho, and beyond. But despite the wealth, Clint remains humble, driven not by show, but by necessity. Yet Clint's legacy carries a heavy price. A father of 8 children by 6 women, his fame gave him glory, but also took away time, love, and peace. His life is one of triumph and loss, success built on sacrifice. Before Clint Eastwood became Hollywood's last cowboy, he was just another boy born into hardship on May 31st, 1930. Growing up during the Great Depression, Clint's early life was marked by poverty and instability, moving from town to town, living in cars, and struggling to find security. Silence became his refuge, and he learned early on that only what you build yourself is truly yours to keep. School didn't offer much escape either. Expelled for carving into a desk, Clint turned to music, teaching himself to play a broken piano. That piano, though out of tune, became his first creation, a symbol that effort could build permanence in a world that offered none. Clint's youth taught him hard lessons. Love can vanish, security is fragile, and silence often speaks louder than words. By adulthood, he had built a wall around himself, forged by his mother's toughness, his father's silence, and years of hardship. When asked about his characters, Clint remarked, "That wasn't acting, that was remembering." When life offered him a chance to build instead of run, Clint seized it. He bought land, restored what others abandoned, and built a life that would never have to move again. His childhood promise, to stand still and never let it be taken away, became the foundation of his legacy. Clint's on-screen characters, silent, stoic, enduring, were more than just roles. They mirrored his own inner struggle, shaped by an unyielding will to survive. His life was built on a vow. Time is the only thing worth owning. Regret is forever, he often said. And that promise fueled every decision, every empire he built. After nearly losing his life in the Pacific, Clint would never again let anything slip away. Nothing was left to chance. When Clint first arrived in Hollywood, he was nothing more than a tall, quiet figure, nearly invisible. With no training, no connections, and barely enough money for food, he survived by digging pools, stacking lumber, and taking on odd jobs. Casting directors rejected him for being too serious, but Clint learned to observe, to listen, and to wait. This quiet endurance became his secret weapon. His breakthrough came with Rawhide, where his stillness drew attention. That same silence, once a burden, became his trademark. But it was his collaboration with director Sergio Leone that changed everything. Clint almost turned down a fistful of dollars because of its sparse dialogue, but that silence felt like home. Made on a shoestring budget, the film earned over $25 million, launching Clint to global fame. By the 1970s, Clint Eastwood wasn't just surviving Hollywood, he was shaping it. But fame was never his goal. Freedom, not fame, he said. Tired of being molded by others, he founded Malpaso Productions, reclaiming control of his creative destiny. His directorial debut, Play Misty for Me, wasn't a commercial hit, but it reflected his desire for ownership, not approval. His films, including Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby, proved his independence. Clint became known for his disciplined, efficient work ethic. While others struggled with egos and budgets, Clint approached his projects like a blue-collar man, quick, precise, and intentional. His net worth soared to over $350 million, but it wasn't about the money. It was about mastery. Clint poured his fortune into creating something permanent. He restored the Mission Ranch Inn in Carmel, built the Tehama Golf Club, and expanded his ranches across California. These weren't just luxuries, they were a promise of security, a way to never feel powerless again. What started as a boy's hunger for stability grew into a man's empire built on silence, not greed, but gratitude. Clint's legacy isn't just in his films. It's in the land he restored, the stories he told, and the lives he touched. From a boy scraping for change to a man who shaped his own empire, Clint built everything with grit and silence. His greatest truths, however, were about love and loss, particularly with Maggie Johnson, who supported him through his early struggles. Maggie believed in Clint when Hollywood didn't, supporting him through quiet sacrifices until his fame grew. But as success came, so did distance. Their marriage ended in 1984, after Clint's emotional and physical absence became too much to ignore. Maggie stayed loyal, but carried the weight of his absence, while Clint kept moving forward. Clint's real legacy lives in the flawed characters he portrayed, seeking redemption in films like Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby. Despite his success, he often wondered, "What did I leave behind?" The empire stood firm, but the rooms felt empty, haunted by memories of a family he couldn't fully rebuild. Clint's relationship with Sandra Locke reflected his inner turmoil. Their intense love was marked by heartbreak, loss, and Clint's need to control everything around him. After Sandra's death, Clint said nothing. There were no public tributes, just silence, grief he couldn't direct or control. Later, Clint found peace with Christina Sandra, a quiet presence in his life for nearly a decade. But when she passed away in 2018, Clint's world went silent again. At her private service, his grief spoke volumes without words, his hand resting on her urn, a silent farewell to the last person who had truly understood him. Clint's life, once defined by strength, was now shaped by absence. His home, once filled with laughter, grew quiet again. It wasn't the silence of peace, but of memory. Throughout his life, Clint built empires, but the role he struggled with most was fatherhood. His silence, often mistaken for affection, became the defining mark of his relationships with his 8 children. Though distant, none of them spoke with resentment, only quiet acceptance. In his twilight years, Clint finds solace in small family gatherings. No grand apologies, just quiet gestures. His legacy isn't one of excess, but of endurance, built on discipline, permanence, and the quiet strength of silence. He's donated millions to causes like conservation and arts education, creating harmony within his family rather than division. Clint has retreated into stillness, spending his days with early morning walks, away from the glare of fame. His legacy, shaped by decades of motion, now lies in his acceptance of fragility. Even legends must face time's reckoning, and Clint has learned that love, once missed, can still be mended. If you love Hollywood gossip, celebrity news, and all things star-studded, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Also, drop a comment below